Hmm. I have no way out of my house. There's no way this doesn't end in disaster. Greetings and salutations. This is Oscar Diggs, and welcome to episode 2 of Let's Build Oz. This is, as I said, episode 2, so we are very much in the grinding phase of survival Minecraft, where we start off with nothing, we get enough to build a starter house, and that's about it. So we need to build some farms, and that's what we are going to be working on today, is working on just building a few things that can be working while we are working on mining and looking for diamonds and all that great stuff. So let's get to it, and I will actually move over to creative real quick just to talk a little bit about what we're going to do with this area. Okay, so here we are in our world seed, but in creative mode. This is the world that I mentioned I popped into so I could go check out where we would be building the Land of Oz, and noticed some of the things, the village and the desert temple and the ruined portal and things. So what I wanted to do by bringing you here is talk a little bit about how we're going to be using Kansas, basically. So we're going to have, this is a little mock-up of the house that I built here in Creative. But we are going to be working on farms. And what I want to draw your attention to first here is the pink wool that I have here in these 4 spots. These are marking the corners of the spawn chunks. And what that means is that everything inside of this wool is loaded even when we're in other parts of the overworld. So we go to work in where we're going to build Oz, which is 6,000 plus blocks away. These chunks will still be loaded. Now, not everything will continue to work, but some things, especially like the iron farm, the village breeder, or the village breeder that we'll be making, those things should continue to work while we are in Oz. So that's where we're going to build inside of this area. We're going to have a cow farm that's over by the house, and of course we'll need a wheat farm, and I've got some water around here as well, so we'll be able to build some sugarcane. Actually, probably just plant some sugarcane around that. The wheat and the sugarcane for now will just be manual. I'm not going to worry about automating that for the time being. Then we've got the village over here, which is, more of the developed area. So we can grow some of our things here, and then we can come over to town and we can do some trading. Over here, we'll have a villager breeder. We've got, we'll have to set up a mall to do some trading of sorts. And then, of course, we will probably back here have more of an industrial area where we will have an iron farm and probably a super smelter. We will probably hook up a bamboo farm and eventually a purpur farm to the super smelter as well. And then, of course, we'll be able to smelt sand into glass and ores into their respective ingots. And we'll need to build a mob system. I haven't quite decided where I want to put that yet. Maybe connected here or around the flower forest. I'm not quite sure. But then we'll have some farms here to take advantage of the flower forest and get some dye. So just wanted to kind of point out the spawn chunks, the area that we're working with. It's actually a pretty big area. But we're going to build those farms in there so that, those ones that will continue to work when we're out of the area will be allowed to do so. So we're going to start off with a little 9x9 wheat field to get us going, and jump right into the cow farm. So let's get going. So what we're going to do is build our farm for cows, and we are going to take advantage of a mechanism that changed a couple of updates ago, a number of updates ago actually. I don't know if it was 113, somewhere in there, where you can only have a certain number of entities in a 1x1 space before the entities start dying. And so if you've ever had a mob farm and you get all these endermen in one spot and all of a sudden they start dying and you haven't even started, trying to kill them yet, this is what's happening. There's too many entities in one spot. So we're going to take advantage of that here. I raised this up, as you can see, a few blocks so that I have room for more chests later on. But we should only need one for the time being right now. So there we go. So we are going to then build around this as so. This is such a super simple design, and I'm not even sure why I haven't actually taken advantage of it before. And I don't even know who first did it. It's been around for a while. So we will put one more up here. I don't believe we should need any block on this corner here. And I'm going to sleep. All right, so let's go get some cows. We'll put the bucket in here. I do need to get a button. Alright, so what'll happen is we hit the button, and we will have this set up. Actually, you know what? We're going to do this not quite there. Alright, we're going to put the button. I think what I really want to be able to do is come down, and we'll be building our barn kind of in this area on the ground level, but the cows will kind of be on the second floor. And then all the storage of the food will be on the first floor. And so what I would like to do is come here, hit the button, up here, and then, ow. And then we will breed them, and that gets the numbers up to maximum and such. So let's see, if I just place this button here, and we get ready to breed. So we will breed like this. And you can do this without having the dispenser, but then you're listening to this the entire time, and that would get a little annoying. I think I got them all. And so if we hit the button again, it drops them back down. And then we let them do their thing. So what happens when there's too many is the adults will actually die first. so that helps us out. Because then we're not losing any baby ones. And I don't think that we'll be nearly enough to do that yet. But we are set up with that, so that's good. There's no reason why I shouldn't put those blocks there, actually, if I got my button on the top. So we'll worry about building around this later, but this gives us something that we can move towards. So the fence will keep them in. It allows them to rise up like that, but it also will keep other things from falling in there that we don't want in there too. So, all right, so we've got cows, and we've got some sugarcane, and we've got some wheat growing, so we are moving right along. And I actually have a few more seeds to plant. But now we're at a point where I can go and at least start doing some mining. We are getting low with the hopper and stuff and things that I made. Axes and pickaxes. We are down to only 24 of that original 40 some odd iron that we had. So we gotta think about getting our iron farm put together. But right now we're gonna go do some mining. I'll come back after that, and then we'll see what we have in plan next. Yes. So there's literally, we came down right here. Oh well. We found them. I always then outline all the way around. So the last thing I want to do is break some diamonds. Oh, are you serious? Just 2? Oh, there you go. 3. But you don't want to break them and then find that there was lava underneath them or something. So I always break all the way around them. That's kind of a bummer. First batch and only 3. But, oh, and I can't pick it up because my inventory's full. Of course, we can get that later. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. So we definitely need more food before we even think about going up there, which means it's about time to go breed the cows again. I'll have to go check that out when I get back after this next pass here. out of my house. There's no way this doesn't end in disaster. Well, that's alright. That was less disastrous than originally thought it might be. Oh, dang it. 3 hits. Oh, 3 hits, not 4. Two episodes, 2 deaths. Oh, I don't want you to be anywhere near me. Yeah, I don't want you to be anywhere near me. So let's see. It looks like some of them took damage. And look at that. Leather and beef. And you know what? I'm taking some now. So that's going to work out really well. Alright, so that didn't quite go as well as I thought it was in the moment, obviously. And I'm continuing to show that combat is my favorite thing, and I'm so good at it. In any case, we do have a villager breeder behind us. So basically, we've got a nice big carrot farm here. I originally, and part of the reason why I don't have a whole lot of footage to show is I've gone through a couple of iterations. I've looked at a couple of tutorials on exactly what I wanted to do here. Didn't always work out as well as I would have hoped. I'm going to sleep because I want to protect everybody here as much as possible. Okay, so some things that changed from the tutorials that I looked at. Number one, and this is probably not a huge deal, but I started off with 2 villagers, farmers in here, which will be way more efficient with the carrots. But I don't know if, number one, it's necessary for the breeding. And number 2, I kept finding that the villagers would breed as well. And even though they don't have a bed in there. And so I got to understand that a little bit better. But in any case, we've got one villager taking care of all of the carrots, throwing it to these 2. Now, this was another problem that I had, is that some of the earlier tutorials and examples just only showed that these guys would pop right into that spot without a whole lot of other. They wouldn't like spawn on the beds or get out of bed on the beds. But that changed in 1.16.2, I think. Which actually, if you watch the Fabricore server videos, was exactly the problem that I ended up fixing with the iron farm. I had to cover the beds up with some of those more additional trapdoors. So now we got this set up. These guys are breeding. It works well. He throws the carrots down to them. They breed. They're standing on this fence post. The other area that I had some problems with, the examples that I saw had some slabs and another fence post to keep these guys from bobbing up and down in the water. And so what I was finding, though, is that for some reason, and I'm really not quite sure why, I was getting, they were able to get out. I kept working on stuff up here, and all of a sudden I'd have baby villagers running around, And that was really frustrating. So it was not working. What's nice about this, it is, by the way, once I took that fence post out, it seems to be working better. I don't know why that would be, what was causing them to glitch out of there or how they got out of there, but I haven't seen one running around since I changed that. So that's good. At some point, if I get enough carrots thrown down here, if there are excess carrots, they will end up coming down in this chest. I'm not sure with the way this is set up if that's going to happen or not, but you know, we won't worry about that right now. Right now, these guys are also getting the carrots, so that's probably part of the problem. What I like about this is the collection system. So I've got a dispenser here with some mine carts. You press the button, it sends the mine cart up, and it pops up to this spot as it transfers from the glass block here to the glass block here. It pulls somebody out. I don't know if I can control if it pulls out an adult or not, but it's not too big of a deal. If it's a baby, I can just have wait for him to grow up in the minecart before going. And then it'll take them that way, which is where I'm going to be working on the iron farms. So we've made huge progress this episode. We've got the cow farm, which is working beautifully. I've got wheat that's growing. I've got actually a lot of sugar cane, so we'll be able to do enchanting if I can just live long enough that I don't end up with dying at 20 levels. Every time I die, I'm at like 25 levels, and I should just do some low-level enchantments, but I'm not. So that's just the way it is. All right, so that's going to do it for this episode. So thanks for watching. If you have watched this long with this episode, you better subscribe, because this early game grindy stuff, it can be not necessarily easy to make content out of. So please subscribe, like the video if you did enjoy it, especially if you like all the creative ways I can die. Creepers are not my friends. But make sure you keep your eye open for our next episode, when we'll be getting to the iron farm, and we are going to be talking about Oz and where we are going to build it. So see you then. Bye-bye.